Hello friends and welcome. Today I'm going to show you how to create your very own skeleton ghost tapestry, which is so cool. I thought it was very unique, and we're going to be using a Tunisian simple stitch. And for that we're going to chain 38. It's going to be a fairly larger project, and I do believe that you probably cannot fit this into a regular crochet hook, but if you have the possibility in getting yourself a Tunisian crochet hook, which is a little bit longer, you can find this at your craft store, or of course, if you do not want to spend some money on, these crochet hooks that you're probably going to use once, you can always attach like a little string of yarn onto the end of your regular crochet hook, and you should be good to go. The reason being is because Tunisian simple stitch requires you to have all of your loops on your hook at once, and I'll show you why. After you chained your 38 chains, we're going to work onto the back side of your chains. So if you turn your chains and you run your fingers, you'll feel little bumps, and we're going to work onto those bumps. We're actually going to skip that very first loop because it corresponds to this very first loop. And we're going to go straight to the second one, and we're just going to insert our hook, yarn over, and pull. And as you can see, we're going to be doing this all the way down our row, and we're just going to be having loops on our hook, and you should end up with 38 loops on your hook. And just like this, you should have all of your 38 loops on your hook. And Tunisian simple stitch has a very unique way of going forwards and going backwards within one row. So we're going to do our return pass. We're going to yarn over and pull through that very last loop on our hook. Just like this. That's going to be our chain 1. We're going to yarn over and pull through 2 of our loops, not counting this one. So if you do it before yarning over these 2 loops, we're going to yarn over and pull through them. Again, we're just going to yarn over and pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2, all the way down your row. And your row should look just like this. Our very next row is going to be also a solid color, but I'm going to show you the repeat for the rest of this project. So if you grab your row and you pull it apart, you'll see like those little staffs of yarn, and we're going to insert our hook onto those. So we're just going to insert our hook onto that front loop only of our previous row. Just like so. Pull your loop onto your hook, and it should look just like this. Once again, I'll show you only onto that front loop of our previous row, yarning over and pulling through. And we're going to do this all the way down our row. And once again, we're going to do our return pass, yarning over, chaining 1 onto the very last loop, yarning over, pulling through 2, pulling through 2, pulling through 2, all the way down the row. And now for our very third row, we're going to do 16 purple stitches. So we're just going to do exactly the same thing, inserting our hook onto that front loop only of our previous row, counting this stitch as 1. We're going to do 16 stitches. So if you look at your pattern, each color square equals 1 loop on our hook. And then after our 16 purple stitches have been looped, we're going to grab our white color or any other color that you like. This is needless to say that you can always change the colors to your liking. We're just going to insert our hook onto that very next loop, and we're just going to yarn over with our new color. We're just going to do 2 stitches. I like to move my tail back and forth so that it catches with my working yarn. And we're just going to drop that white color in my case and pick up my background color again and do this all the way down this row. So it's just 2 different color stitches. And then we do exactly the same thing for our return pass, always chaining 1 onto that very last loop, grabbing our yarn, pulling through 2, pulling through 2, pulling through 2, and I'll meet you back when we reach that white color stitch. So when you reach this point of your tapestry, you always use that second color stitch to pull through. So in this case, we have our purple and we have our white. We are working with our purple yarn. As you can see, this is our working yarn. We're going to drop it. So we just drop it. We're going to pick up that second color stitch, in my case is white. We're going to yarn over with that white, pull through that purple and through that very first white stitch, just like so. We're going to yarn over and pull through 2. Once again, the same rule applies. So whenever you have 2 different color stitches on your hook, you always use that second color stitch to pull through. So we're just going to drop our white. We're going to pick up our purple. We're going to yarn over, pull through that white, and pull through that purple. Again, grabbing our yarn, pulling through 2, all the way down our row. And your row should look just like this. This is actually where I leave the explanation of everything that you need to know from your foundation to your color change, your color switch, color introduction. Everything that you need to know is between these pieces of advice that I've just given you. So needless to say, I always leave the Pinterest pin that I'm following down below in the description, or you can always take a screenshot of the picture on screen.